Yuji Itadori, the man who was known to be naturally gifted in everything he does and being the vessel of Sukuna. He has underwent multiple trials and tribulations since becoming a Jujutsu sorcerer, and we are going to dive into how he held up during the Shibuya arc from his perspective. Usu, what's up guys, my name is Jake Xiao, and today we are going to evaluate the performance of Yuji and how this has shaped him into the character that he is today. This is a new series I plan to do in where I go over the performance of everyone vital in the Shibuya incident. I think this is going to be a fun one. If you haven't already, please press the like button and help push the video to do better on YouTube. Comment down below what character you would like to see next. And if you agree with my ratings for each fight that Yuji has had, tell me what you agree with and tell me what you don't. And without further ado, let's get into this video. So at the beginning of the Shibuya arc, Yuji was being assessed to become a grade 1 sorcerer, along with the recommendation of Itadori. This meant Yuji would finally be placed in a ranking as he wasn't quite particularly ranked prior. He is then being assessed by Mei, who was with Yu, her little brother. Yuji seems pumped, energetic, ready for the ride, until he reaches the destination in Tokyo Metro Meiji Station. He is told within the curtains there may be transfigured humans. This makes Yuji have a startled look and seems as if he is prepared to kill Mahito, totally enraged with the amount of things Mahito has done to others up to this point. Mei then explains to Yuji that they may have to split up due to the fact that there's cursed spirits and transfigured humans that need exercising, in which Yuji replies, "I'm done with losing." This is when he encounters the first foe in Shibuya, the grasshopper. While the grasshopper was talking, Yuji kicks him so hard that it smashed him into the wall, following up with a punch into the rib section. At this point, Yuji is riled up, annoyed, tired of all these cursed spirits looking down on humans. He wants to end it all here. But this grasshopper was persistent. Yuji continues to serve unrelenting blows to the cursed grasshopper. Even the grasshopper is confused as to why he has more of an advantage even though he's meant to. This 1v1 between Yuji and the grasshopper was so one-sided. No tricks could work. This fight between Yuji and the grasshopper was comedic and a demolition at the same time, because he kept saying that I'm smart, you're not smart. I'd rate this fight a 3 out of 5 through Jujutsu Kaisen. Not too shabby, but it was definitely entertaining. On to the next. Yuji then goes to Mei and then had something in his ear. It appeared to be Mekamaru, and that is when he received the news that the strongest Satoru Gojo was sealed. This is of course very hard to believe, but they have to move accordingly since before coming to Shibuya, this was not planned whatsoever. Yuji is instructed to go back outside and inform the others of Gojo being sealed. But due to Gojo being Gojo, they cannot remove him from the actual station position B5F, so Yuji hurries to inform the others. Even at this point, Yuji was very hopeful that Gojo could be saved and began clobbering more cursed spirits outside of the station to protect civilians. Yuji first finds Nanami, Ino and Megumi and told them the information that they needed to know about what happened to Gojo. Yuji then is given a new mission to look and destroy the barrier with Megumi and Ino. Yuji lands a strike that rivals that of Nanami in terms of striking force, which emphasizes his physical prowess. So they end up finding who set up the barrier, and he flew to the top of the tower using Megumi's Shikigami. While using the wire, Itadori uses this to actually capture one of the people holding up the barrier, and successfully makes him drop to the ground. The opponent gets back up easily, and this is strange as he fell more than 40 feet down. Yuji teams up with Megumi and realizes that this man is not a normal person, but they're going to have to make it work and hit him as hard as they can. But it seemed futile, just due to the fact that every time you hit him as hard as you can, he didn't look like he was damaged. But they figured it out, as the man's curse technique was inverse, meaning when he activates his technique, if you punch him hard, it wouldn't hurt him, so you would have to hit him soft. For this fight, it was very enjoyable. I had a lot of fun watching it, and it really made me deep and realize Yuji and Megami's bond. So me personally, how they were teaming up and thinking together to strategize against their opponent, I would rate this a 3.5 out of 5. So now at this point, Yuji decides to split up with Megami, and as cheeky as Yuji is, he told Megami that if you die, I will kill you. This is something Megami said to him once before, and this moment was pretty heartwarming, showing that they always got each other's back. Yuji runs into the Inumaki, just to add, while he was figuring out how to save more people in the outside. Yuji runs into the station and he gets met with Choso. He is immediately attacked by a piercing blood technique, and now is initiation time. Choso is mad due to Yuji killing his brother Eso during the Origin of Obedience arc. Yuji, while in this fight, ends up on the back foot. Really ends up being caught by surprise and losing his foothold a lot. But he then receives help from Mekamaru, who advises him to go to the bathroom. This is where the playing field was equal. The blood of Choso was at a disadvantage and it was a straight hand-to-hand combat. But then Choso pierces Yuji's liver just as Yuji thought he had the fight won. By covering his hand from the water while holding blood, he was able to condense the blood and shoot at Yuji. This looked bad, very bad. But the boy Yuji was able to stand his ground, turned his fear of dying into cursed energy, and cleared his mind for the sake of everyone else who fought, even if it was at the cost of his life. Choso's condition is also dangerous. 3 hits is the only amount that Yuji landed on him the whole fight, but he was able to damage Choso severely. They battle it out once more, and Yuji hasn't fought with his left arm at all, due to the fact that when he met Choso, he was hit with a piercing blood attack, which made his arm inactive. So to confuse Choso, he uses his left hand, but it didn't work out, resulting into Choso slamming him down and catching him off guard. As Choso was going to finish him off, he unlocked a memory with Yuji with all of them being brothers. This puts him in a traumatic state, in where he hurt his brother Yuji Itadori. He was actually meant to be protecting him. This is a really strange phenomenon that happens a lot with Yuji, and we have no idea up to this point why. But I would say this is how the fight concluded, and I would personally give this fight easily a 5 out of 5. It really showed how beautiful and concise Jujutsu Kaisen fights are. It was also not predictable. It was literally some of the best, if not the best fight in this series for me. When animated, this is going to be amazing. Yuji ends up lying alone in the bathroom until 2 girls actually end up finding him, and they say the words "let's begin." But Jogo comes in, and then Yuji is taken over by Sukuna. They fed him a lot of fingers, the fingers that they actually had at the back. Now at this point of the video, I want to reiterate, this is about Yuji, so I'm not going to cover Sukuna. But what I will say is I can make another video on how Shibuya incident has changed Sukuna. So if you would like to see that video, show me you like the video with a like and a subscribe. Commenting down below would also help. At this point, I'll be talking from when Sukuna gave Yuji control back with his body. This was a very depressing time. Yuji had memories ingrained to his head of the damage that Sukuna has done. Yuji threw up, sick to his stomach. He started stressing. All the fear he had just came over him, questioning why he has to be killed and executed. He knows he's going to die. He feels that it's going to be him all alone. This is not what his granddad wanted. At this point, Yuji is very mentally unstable. Yuji runs into the station again to figure the situation, and that is where he sees his mentor, teacher, Nanami, die in front of him. Nanami's last words to him was, "You've got it from here." This is when Mahito, the one who has destroyed Yuji in so many ways, mentally and physically, put their nail in the coffin. Then they engage. Yuji was punched so hard, his skull almost broke, creating the scar that we see now in the manga. This is when he received it. Yuji then flips the tide around when he collects his cool. Yuji tried to even help a civilian while looking for Mahito, not knowing that Mahito himself was hiding inside one of the civilians. But he had a breakthrough. Kugisaki Nobara used her ability Soul Resonance on Mahito's clone, who went outside. This actually ended up affecting his main body, allowing Yuji to go full throttle towards him. Showed Yuji that he is not alone in this, which he feared so much. Yuji repeatedly hit Mahito with machine gun punches. Mahito splits and his clone enters the station with Nobara chasing behind, and then Mahito decides to do a switcheroo and touches Nobara's face. This makes Yuji witness the only person who he felt had his back at the time now gone. Her blood splatters on his face and her eyes goes flying out of her skull. Yuji is broken. This makes Mahito beat him up senseless. Yuji doesn't even retaliate, everything was just going wrong. To make matters worse, he gets hit with a black flash, starts bouncing from wall to wall. This was such a difficult scene to watch. This is when Mahito starting talking smack to Yuji, left, right, up, down. He was mocking him. When he was about to get killed, Todo Ayui came in and saved him with the famous Todo Ayui tells Yuji to get up while he's severely beaten. Yuji expresses to Todo his will to fight is absolutely gone. Sukuna has killed so much people, Nanami has died, Kugisaki is pretty much dead. He tried helping more people but it didn't even work out. He couldn't forgive himself. But then Todo speaks words of wisdom towards him. What it truly means to be a Jujutsu sorcerer. The words Todo uttered were able to uplift Yuji. The man who treated Nobara also treated Yuji, stopping his bleeding and helping him with some of the pain. And that's when Yuji gets up, takes a stance. He prepares to land the meanest charged up black flash of this series and clocks Mahito. He regrets being weak after Nanami entrusted him. Now it is time for the final battle between Mahito and Yuji. Yuji, Mahito, Todo, all preparing to have a clash of titans. They all use 120% of their full potential. They take the fight outside and many blows are exchanged until Mahito uses domain expansion 0.2 seconds, in where he attacked Todo, causing him to chop off his arm. Todo then switches with Yuji by clapping Mahito by his hand, switching Yuji's position and hitting him with a full-fledged black flash. This finishes Mahito, finally making him unable to move at will. Yuji admits to him, "I'm you." He then says his famous words to Mahito, "Even if you come back as another curse, I'll kill you. Change your name, form, I'll kill you again. I am nothing more than a cog." Mahito pitifully scurrying away at the scene, and the parallel between a predator and prey is beautiful here. And then the main wolf, Ghetto/Brain, appears at the scene and attacks Yuji. He then uses curse manipulation to take Mahito, and basically Yuji asks for Gojo back, but obviously this is not going to be possible. Fast forward on, a lot of people enter the scene, Choso and the Kyoto school students, everyone. Yuji is still being called brother by Choso, which confuses him, but there's no time to waste. They are met with an icefall attack from Ghetto's servant, and then they were about to be killed. And then they were saved by Yuki. Yuki speaks to Ghetto in where Yuji was able to find out their different aims in the Jujutsu world, which Yuji doesn't agree with either of them. Yuji tries one last gasp to try and get Gojo after Ghetto's explanation, but he releases curses upon Japan due to the amount of contracts he made. So how does this all affect Yuji? Well, now he is less willing to live. He is happy to serve his place as a cog and nothing more than that. He acknowledges Choso as being his brother. Even though he barely understands him and gets him, he feels the connection, but he is now in a different headspace. This is now the end of the video. This was a pretty different video. It's made me appreciate Yuji's character even more. He is an amazing protagonist, and this shows why people love him. Jujutsu Kaisen sometimes aims to have a more realistic approach, and minimizes the plot armor as much as possible. Thank you, Gege. If you've made it this far, I'd appreciate if you comment down below I made it. Then tell me what you like about Yuji Itadori. I've been GX Xiao, and as I say to the new and old people who come and visit my channel, Jana.